Last week, I got a call from Marco, a guy I've been working with for years. Good guy, works in tech. He finally saved enough for a down payment after busting his ass for 5 years. He calls me at 11 p.m., voice shaking. He says, Ramin, I'm going to pull out of this deal. I just can't do it. Everyone's saying the recession is coming. Housing's going to crash. I should wait. I told him what I'm about to tell you. Everyone thinks the housing market is going to crash. They're dead wrong. Listen, I don't sugarcoat. I don't BS. That's not who I am. That's not Ramin Real Talk. I'm here to give you the unfiltered truth that your financial advisor is too scared to tell you, that your realtor simply doesn't understand, that the news won't report because panic doesn't sell ads. Yes, a recession is coming. I'm going to show you the evidence. It's right in front of your faces. But this is the crucial part. This recession will not crash housing prices. In fact, if you play this right, this could be your greatest opportunity to build wealth through real estate in the next 10 years. Now, before I break down exactly why, let me take you back to a moment in my life that changed everything. 2008. I had just gotten into real estate, the market was crashing, everyone was losing their homes. I watched families, good, hardworking people, get destroyed financially because they bought at the wrong time, with the wrong mortgage, and for the wrong reasons. I promised myself I would never let that happen to anyone that I could help. Never again. That's why I'm making this video, because I see people making decisions out of fear instead of strategy. And fear is the worst financial advisor you'll ever have. So let's get into it. Why am I so confident a recession is coming? First up, the Sahm Rule, S-A-H-M. This isn't some random theory. This is an indicator with a perfect track record. When unemployment rises by half a percentage point from its 12-month low, we're in a recession. And this has already been triggered. Every single time the Fed has paused or cut rates after a hiking cycle, a recession followed within 11 months. Every single time. The Bureau of Labor Statistics keeps revising job numbers downward. Over 800,000 phantom jobs, gone. They weren't real. The jobs report is a mirage. This is going to get technical, but U3 unemployment only tells part of the story. Look at the U6 unemployment report, which includes underemployed and people who have given up looking for work. That paints a much darker picture. The ISM Manufacturing Index, well, that's been contracting. Services, barely growing. But forget the economic jargon. Let's talk about what's happening in the real world. Intel is laying off up to 40% of its workforce. Meta cut 21,000 jobs. Boeing, Exxon, Amazon, all cutting. These aren't minimum wage jobs. These are high-paying careers. Now, my cousin Vinny, not the movie, my actual cousin Vincent, works at a Fortune 500 company. At dinner last month, he leans over the pasta and whispers to me, Ramin, don't tell anyone, but our company is preparing for cuts. The C-suite knows what's coming. You think the media is telling you this? No chance. Jim Cramer is still on TV saying, buy, 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 because that's his job. The media can't tell you to panic. But behind the scenes, all it's seeing is red. And now we have an administration preparing for economic war. Trump's team is planning government firings, hiring freezes. Whether you love him or hate him, it doesn't matter. His economic approach is going to shake things up big time. So yes, recession is coming, and I'm not here to debate that. But here's where everyone gets it wrong. This is not 2008, not even close. In 2008, we had a housing glut. Too many homes, not enough buyers. Predatory lending, no doc loans, people buying 5 investment properties with no income verification. Pure insanity. Today, we have a housing shortage. We're short at least 500,000 units right now nationwide. And new construction, well, it's simply not keeping up pace. Not even close. People aren't selling. Why would they? They're sitting on 3% COVID-era mortgages. You think that they're trading that in for a 7%? Hell no. I got clients with 2.5% interest rates who tell me, Ramin, they're carrying me out of this house in a box. I am never selling. No inventory equals no crash. Period. End of story. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about what actually happens to home prices during recessions. Look at the data. In 5 of the last 6 recessions, home prices went up, not down. The only exception was 2008 because that recession was caused by a housing crash. This one is not. And what happens during a recession? The Fed cuts rates to stimulate the economy. Let me paint you a picture of what's about to happen. Recession hits. Fed starts cutting rates. mortgage rates begin to fall. Now, all those buyers who were sitting on the sidelines for years thinking, I'll wait until rates come down, I'll wait until rates come down, suddenly they jump back in the market all at once. At the same time, some of those people with a 3% mortgages finally decide to list their homes because they need to move for whatever reason. New job, growing family, downsizing. But here's the kicker. The new supply won't match the surge in demand. Not even close. Let me tell you about my client, Sarah. I mentioned in another video as well. She's a single mom, 2 kids, been renting for years, saving for a down payment. She kept waiting for the perfect time to buy. Lower rates, lower prices, the stars to align. I sat her down last year and said, Sarah, there's no perfect time. There's only the right strategy. She bought a home in December, interest rate 7.2%. I know, not great, but we structured the loan so she could refinance easily when rates drop. Last week, she called me in tears. Ramin, my neighbor's identical unit just sold for $50,000 more than I paid in 4 months. That's what happens when you make decisions based on strategy instead of fear. But let's talk about the biggest factor that nobody's talking about. Demographics. Millennials are the largest generation in American history, period. They're entering their peak home buying years right now. Gen Z is right behind them. We're seeing record household formations, more weddings, more babies, more roommates splitting up to get their own place. This isn't just numbers on a chart. This is your neighbor's kid moving out. This is your friend finally getting married at 35. It's about time, dude. Okay? And this is your coworker having their first baby, and suddenly that 1-bedroom apartment simply doesn't cut it anymore. And all these people need somewhere to live. Look, I get it. It's scary out there. Inflation is absolutely real. Layoffs are absolutely real. Uncertainty is beyond reality. But you know what else is real? Rent increases year after year after year. When I was a kid, we lived next to a guy, his name was Robbie. His parents rented because they were waiting for the right time to buy. His dad would sit at the kitchen table, calculator in hand, running the numbers every single month. Finally, Robbie's mom had had enough. She finally looked at her husband and said, Antonio, we've been renting for 5 years. Our rent just went up again. Are we waiting until we're too old to enjoy our home? They finally bought their house next month. That was back in 1993. Yes, they bought at a high price for that time. Yep, interest rates were not ideal. But you know what? That house tripled in value. And more importantly, they raised a family there, created memories, built a life. That's what this is really about. It's not just numbers. It's not just an investment. It's about your life. It's your future. So what should you do? Let me break this down. If you're waiting for prices to fall before you buy, well, you're making a critical mistake. When rates drop, prices will shoot up faster than you can imagine. And the competition, well, it'll be brutal. Multiple offers, bidding wars, all that stuff you thought was over, well, it's going to come back with a vengeance. The smart move is this. Buy your house now. Refinance later. It's not about getting the perfect rate today. It's about getting the right rate structure. A loan that gives you flexibility, that positions you to take advantage when rates do drop. I tell all my clients, you marry the house, but you date the rate. Think about it this way. When it starts raining, you don't stop driving, right? You just drive differently, more carefully, more strategically. Well, the economic storm, it's coming. But you don't have to park your car and wait for the sun. You just need the right strategy, the right vehicle, and someone who knows how to navigate those conditions. Let me tell you how the story ends with Marco, the guy I mentioned at the beginning, the one who nearly pulled out of his deal because he was scared. After our late night call, he took a day to think. He called me back and said, Ramin, I trust you. Let's do this. We closed on his house 2 weeks ago. We structured his loan with a 2-1 buy down. He's already building equity. He already has a place to call his own. And when rates drop in a recession, he's going to refinance. His payment will go down, but his home value, that's only going to go up. Look, I can't tell you what to do. This is your life, your money, and your future. But I can tell you this. Every great opportunity in life comes disguised as uncertainty. The people who win financially aren't the ones with perfect timing. They're the ones with the right strategy. Buy during the uncertainty, win during the rebound. This is Ramin's Real Talk. And I'm telling you, a recession is coming. Housing will not crash, and this might be the best opportunity you'll see in the next decade. Don't make decisions based on headlines or fear. Make them based on strategy and facts. If you're ready to build a real estate strategy that works in an economy recession or boom, hit that subscribe button. Comment below with your situation, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. And if you see a friend who needs to hear this, send this video to him, please, right now. Remember, in this market, you don't need perfect timing. You need perfect strategy. And I'm here to help you build it.